Good morning. Oh my gosh, we've got a little bit of spit up. Oh, there's a little bit more spit up. So tired. Is that so exciting? Yeah. I don't know if baby is going to participate. Like, he's a little fussy right now. But look at how cute this onesie is. We got two of these. One was a long sleeve newborn, and the other one is this short sleeve 0 to 3. Also, I'm at the point where I'm very sad that he is not a newborn. I'm seeing videos on Instagram of newborns, and I'm like kind of sad. Oh, but it's okay because he's perfect right now. But those newborns are so tiny and cutie. Oh no, sir. But yeah, I love it. It's so cute. Oh no, sir.
Have been racialized in America.
Yeah,
so I think that one sounds really fascinating and very
I am trying to catch
for
up.
Black History Month.
So far behind.
Then we're into March, and so in March.
Hey guys, my hand hurts from doing Christmas cards. I'm at the K's right now, so we'll see. Also, if you watch my videos and you want a Christmas card and you don't think I have your address, send me a message. Give me your address. Our card is super cute this year. No big deal. Jake does like funny photoshops, and they are fantastic. All right, so I am here to talk about one of the reading projects that I would like to accomplish next year. So I mentioned in a previous video, I don't know like what brought it up, but basically there are several authors that I own multiple books of that I have read nothing from. And that is kind of annoying to me because I feel like, why would I own multiple books from an author if I don't even know if I'm going to enjoy their writing? You know what I mean? Like, I could not like it and I'm just accumulating books. So I went through my spreadsheet that has all of my unread books on it, and I found 106 authors that I own more than one book of that I have not read anything from. So I was intending to read one book from each, like one book of each author's, if that makes any sense, but 106, that is not happening in a year, okay? I mean, if I'm lucky, maybe, but So I then whittled it down further to who I own more than 2 books of, because a lot of these authors I only own 2 books of, but there's a lot of authors that I own more than 2 of, and so those I broke that down, and I have come up with 40 authors that I don't think that I'm going to be able to read. My goal would be just to get to at least one a month, but it would be great if I could go get to all of them. I am going to mention all of the authors. Is 106 authors too many to mention in one sitting? I'll mention the authors that I own 2 of, but I'll mention the books that I own of the 40 that I own more of, so you can tell me which I should prioritize maybe, or like help me whittle it down. I will say of the 106, there's 4 that I'm not even going to look at. Well, that's kind of a lie. I guess there's 2 that I'm not even going to look at. One is Dante and one is Philippa Gregory. I own 3 books in the Philippa Gregory like series of books, but I like to do things from beginning to end, and I'm trying not to purchase things like unnecessarily. I kind of almost want to do like a no buy thing next year, unless it's whatever. And that's a lie, because I do my little like, you know, indie bookstore day and word stock and shit, so it's not gonna happen. But anyways, I don't own the first book in those series. I own, you know, ones that are later, so I'm definitely not gonna be reading any of those. And then for Dante, I own the Divine Comedy in 3 separate books. So Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso, I own them like separately. And that's just like too intense for me at this moment. I need to like these like really heavy, thick dense books I can't like focus on at the moment. And then there's two other authors that I'm going to mention, and the reason that I'm not going to focus on them next year is because I'm currently in the middle of books by them. One is Zadie Smith. I'm currently reading Swing Time, and then the other one is Italo Calvino, and I'm currently reading Into the War, which I do actually just want to complain about Goodreads for one thing. I already had Entrata en Guerra on my TBR shelf, and they don't let you put multiple editions of the same book on your shelves, which I find extremely frustrating. I had previously found it frustrating because I own two different translations of the Odyssey, and they're different books, so I feel like they should be counted as different things personally. I feel like you should at least be allowed to make that decision, and it kind of frustrates me that I can't. All right, so those ones we're not going to worry about, and then I'm just going to mention the authors that I own two books from. Again, I might read something from these. I just like, they're not going to be considered part of like this project that I'm trying to do. So I've got Sherman Alexie on here, Isabel Allende, Max Brooks, who did, I don't even think I'm going to like these books at this point, like the Zombie Survival Guide and World War Z. I doubt it, but you know, I already own them. Christopher Buckley, Frances Hodgson Burnett, those probably could be pretty quick to read because they're children's books. Kate Atkinson, Paul Auster, Jasmina Barrera, and I'm actually going to read one of her books. I think I'd like to read both of her books this month, actually. One of them is Linea Nigra, which is about like the pregnancy, I think, because that's what it's called, like the line that you get, the dark line on your belly when you're pregnant. And the other one is On Lighthouses, and On Lighthouses I have right here next to my bed, so hopefully I will read that one soon. Then Agustina Bazterrica, Walter Benjamin, John Berger, William Boyd, John Boyne. God, all these people have like very similar names. Dennis Cooper, and I'm actually in the middle of Closer by Dennis Cooper, which is a tiny book. I have really no excuse for not reading it. J. California Cooper, Blake Crouch, also not 100% sure if I'm gonna like those books. They're sci-fi. Hopefully they're like, you know, hard sci-fi and they're fun. Even Turgenev. I did not look up how to pronounce any of these people's names. Michel Foucault, ton of French. I would like to read In the Woods, kind of like ASAP. Maybe I'll add that to my December like little stack. Some Sue Grafton. I've got A is for Alibi and B is for Burglar. These are also books that I don't necessarily think that I'm gonna like, but they're on my shelves, so I'm gonna give them a go. And Donatella di Pietrantonio. Annie Dillard, Emma Donoghue, Norman Rush, Alexander Hemingway, Marguerite Duras. Again, who knows if I'm pronouncing these things correctly. Homer, Victor Hugo, Zora Neale Hurston, Rachel Kushner, Christopher Isherwood, Marlon James, Anthony Mara, Hiromi Kawakami, Mary Carr, Ibram X. Kendi, Laszlo Krasznahorkai, Alan Mabanku, Celeste Ng, Arthur Miller, John Muir, Vera Porn, Niti Prapa, Maggie O'Farrell, Emuska Orzi, Hana Orstevic, Kaoru Takamura, Magda Szabo, Edgar Allan Poe, Junichiro Tanizaki, Michael Pollan, Chiam Hayam Potok? Hayam? I don't know. Hunter S. Thompson, Olga Tokarzuk, Teffy, Virgil, Jeanette Wallace, Virginia Woolf, Ruth Ware, Evelyn Waugh, Edith Wharton, and Meg Wolitzer. Okay, so it's a lot of people. So I own two books of each of those authors. And again, not really focused on that. The list that I'm about to tell you, though, I'd like to get, I mean, 2 a month would be even radder if I could do that, but who knows? And who knows? Maybe. All right, so the first author that I have is Tariq Ali. I purchased all of the books in his series. I don't know what the series title is called, actually, but I think they're Verso editions, Verso books, and I'm pretty sure he's a Pakistani author, but please don't quote me on anything that I'm saying. So I have A Sultan in Palermo, Shadows of the Pomegranate Tree, The Book of Saladin, The Stone Woman, and Night of the Golden Butterfly. This is a series, so if I choose to read a book by him, it will be number 1 in the series, which I'm pretty sure is A Sultan in Palermo, but it's possible that it's not, because I think that they're not published like chronologically. I'm not sure. Then I have so many Colette books. I just have so many books by Colette, and I have read 0 by Colette. So like Colette needs to go for sure on the list of people that I'm reading. I have Claudine Married, The Innocent Libertine, The Ripening Seed, Break of the Day, The Other One, The Pure and the Impure, and My Mother's House in Sido. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books by an author that I've read nothing of. Who knows if I like it or not? Like, it's embarrassing. Then I have Javier Cercas, and also if these people are translated, so far they've both been, and this next one is also definitely translated. I do not obviously have the translators off the top of my head because I'm just reading from a list. But I have The Soldiers of Salamis, I don't know, The Imposter and Outlaws. My preference would be to read The Imposter because I purchased this for the International Man Booker Prize, like in 2019, 2020, I don't know, a long time ago. So that would be my preference, but again, I don't know. Then I have 4 books by Michael Chabon: The Mysteries of Pittsburgh, The Final Solution, The Yiddish Policeman's Union, and Moonglow. I've got 4 Noam Chomsky books: Profit Over People, Hegemony or Survival, Imperial Ambitions, and Occupy. I have 5 books by Alexandre Dumas: my memoirs, The Three Musketeers, The Count of Monte Cristo, 20 Years Later, and The Man in the Iron Mask. The problem with 3 of these is that they're like folio editions, so they're big, chunky kind of books. I haven't physically tried to read a folio. I only have 4, so, and 3 of them are in this series. So that might be kind of challenging, but I feel like that's probably not going to be on the immediate list because I would really like to like focus on other like big classics that I have started. Les Mis and The Brothers Karamazov. Then I've got 3 Jeremy Scahill books: Blackwater, Dirty Wars, and The Assassination Complex. Obviously, I don't know, maybe you haven't seen these books, but The Assassination Complex would be the best to read because it is the smallest. Blackwater and Dirty Wars are both like fat books. They're really big. So, you know. Then I have a few books by Julio Cortázar: Hopscotch, All the Fires, The Fire, and Blow Up and Other Stories. I want to read all 3 of these, to be honest with you, like ASAP. I just, in my heart, he's an author for me. In my heart, I know that I'm going to love his writing. So I don't know why I've been holding off on reading him. I don't know. And then I've got a few from Jasper Fforde, which I'm like, I don't know. These ones maybe I'll like. The Well of Lost Plots, The Big Over Easy, and The Fourth Bear. The Well of Lost Plots I think is the first book in a series, and then the other 2 are part of a different series. They might be the only ones in the series. I have no idea. I bought these, again, so long ago. Then I've got multiple books by Peter Mayle. My father purchased all of these for me. My dad was a big traveler, and like he wrote his own travel book, and he obviously he liked these and he sent them to me. So I have A Year in Provence, which is the classic, then Toujours Provence, Acquired Tastes, and French Lessons. I probably would read A Year in Provence if I was going to pick him to read next year. I don't know, maybe should I do like a TBR kind of jar? Yeah, I'm going to. I love picking things randomly. Then I've got a few books by Eli Gottlieb: The Boy Who Went Away, Now You See Him, and Best Boy. Again, I'm pretty sure at least 2 of these are like one after the other. Then some Hilary Mantel: A Place of Greater Safety, Wolf Hall, and The Assassination of Margaret Thatcher. That's kind of the one that I gravitate towards the most. The Assassination of Margaret Thatcher, I bought that at like an indie bookstore day many moons ago. Then I've got a few Lauren Groffs: Fates and Furies, Florida, and Matrix. Mohsin Hamid, The Reluctant Fundamentalist, How to Get Filthy Rich in Rising Asia, and Exit West. Exit West I purchased because a podcast that I listened to, I think, was talking about it, so I would probably gravitate towards that one, but you know, I want to read all of them eventually. Then I've got a few Ernest Hemingways, The Sun Also Rises, Immovable Feasts, and Death in the Afternoon. I definitely don't think that I would go for Death in the Afternoon because that's like a pretty big memoir about like bullfighting, which I don't think I'm like super into, to be honest. I don't know why I have that book. And then some Thomas Mann, Buddenbrooks, Death in Venice, and Confessions of Felix Krull. Again, an author that I, in my heart, is for me, but have not read. Then we've got some Mark Twain. And Mark Twain, I'm like, I don't really know about. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer Climbing the Riffelberg, which is not even a book. It's like a pamphlet, basically. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and Pudd'nhead Wilson, which just sounds terrible to me. I think The Adventures of Tom Sawyer is on a list that I'm also going to try to complete next year. So it's probably going to be that one. And it's probably actually hopefully going to be read or DNF'd because I don't want that thing in my life like over me anymore. I've got a few by Jeanette Winterson. Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit, which I feel like is her most famous one. The Passion and Love. Love is a very small thing. I don't actually even know really what it is, but it's like a small, tiny little book. I kind of think it's a collection of hers, maybe. Then I have Alice Walker, who is embarrassing that I have not read. I've got Meridian, The Color Purple, and By the Light of My Father's Smile. I obviously really want to read all of these, so, you know. Then Charles Dickens, The Pickwick Papers, A Christmas Carol, Impressioni di Napoli, Bleak House, and Great Expectations. Again, Impressioni di Napoli is like pamphlet size. These like small random travel things are all from my father. I think it's just like a selection of something that he wrote about his time in Naples, maybe. Maybe this will be the year that I read A Christmas Carol and then he won't even be on the list for next year. Wouldn't that be super cool? Who knows? I've got Nick Hornby, High Fidelity, About a Boy, and Funny Girl. I've never seen About a Boy. I love High Fidelity, although I really doubt that it's aged well. They did that remake, but it's a female that's the lead. That's a TV show that I would be really interested in watching. But I loved High Fidelity the last time that I watched it, but again, a long time ago. Then we've got David Mitchell, Cloud Atlas, The Thousand Autumns of Jacob de Zoet, The Bone Clocks, and Slate House. To be honest, I'm a little intimidated by reading his books because I know that there's a lot of characters that are in multiple books. So I want to make sure I read the books in the correct order, if that makes any sense. Like I want to make sure I'm getting the most out of my reading experience with them. But I don't know what that order should be. So if you've read him and you can tell me, let me know. Maybe I should just do it chronologically. I don't know. Like in publication order. Then I've got Edwidge Danticat, which again, I need to read. I've got Breathe Eyes Memory or Breath Eyes Memory? I think it's Breath Eyes Memory. Crick Crack and the Dew Breaker. Hermann Hesse, Gertrude Steppenwolf, The Glass Bead, Henry Miller, Tropic of Cancer, Horoscope, Tropic of Capricorn, and then Aller Retour, New York. Horoscope and the Aller Retour New York are both like very, very tiny things. Obviously, Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn are like probably something that I should go to first. Then I've got Gloria Naylor, The Woman of Brewster Place, Mama Day, and Bailey's Cafe. I did start Mama Day a couple of years ago, so that would be the one that I would read. She was like being interviewed or doing an interview or something like that I just really read only the beginning. And then I have a ton of Sarah Vowell books because again, I'm like, oh yeah, but I don't know. Take the Cannoli, The Partly Cloudy Patriot, Assassination Vacation, The Wordy Shipmates, and Unfamiliar Fishes. So many books. I probably am going to focus on the ones that I own like too many books from, not just 3. But again, I lied. TBR jar all the way. And then I've got Joyce Carol Oates, Solstice, I Lock My Door Upon Myself, Black Water, Blonde, The Museum of Dr. Moses, and The Grave Digger's Daughter. I only have 2 by Salman Rushdie, so we're not going to include him. I made a mistake because he edited one of the best American short stories collections. So let's just cut that out of there. Oh, shit. I'll fix it later. Then I have Jean-Paul Sartre. Nausea, Being in Nothingness, The Age of Reason. I 100% would not pick Being in Nothingness because, again, massive, massive philosophical text. So not right now. That's once the baby is a little bit older vibe. I've got a few books by Will Self, The Quantity Theory of Insanity, Liver, and Umbrella. I've got some books by Ngugi wa Thiong'o. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But I have Matigari, Wizard of the Crow, and the Language of Languages. The Wizard of the Crow is the one that I should read because that is like his, I think, like, you know, the text of his that you should read. But the Language of Languages is super tiny. So we know I like a small book, right? Then I've got some Franz Kafka. I've got The Trial of the Castle and then selected short stories. Chuck Klosterman, Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs, Downtown Owl, in the 90s. Then Ha Jin, Waiting, the Crazed, and War Trash. I've got 5 books by Anaïs Nin, but 4 of them are her diaries, and I start with 2. I've got The Diary of Anaïs Nin 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I need number 1. But every time I go into a bookstore that has used books, I don't see it. So I would read Winter of Artifice, which is the only other one of her books that I own. Then I've got Louis de Bernier. I don't know. He's an English author, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know what is up with this last name. But I've got The War of Don Emanuel's Nether Parts, Corelli's Mandolin, and Birds Without Wings. Then Mario Vargas Llosa, Aunt Julia and the Scriptwriter. My mouth is so tired. I've been talking for 20 minutes. Aunt Julia and the Scriptwriter, The Feast of the Goat, Sabers and Utopias, The Discreet Hero. Obviously, I would read The Feast of the Goat because I have started it and I'm about halfway through. Then Michael Ondad. Don't know how to pronounce that. Coming Through Slaughter, In the Skin of a Lion, and The English Patient. And then last but not least, Umberto Eco. I've got The Island of the Day, Serendipities, and The Mysterious Flame of Queen Luana. Woof, my mouth hurts. That's 40 authors. Oof, my mouth hurts. I will list them all below. Maybe not the books that I own of theirs, but I'll list them all below, and I'll try to like edit it to put their name so that you can, like, if you want to just see that, so you can again give me suggestions of which of these you think I should read first if I'm going to be reading them next year. And yeah, that was my that was it. That was the idea that I had. I'm so glad that I filmed that finally. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.